Hey everyone, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me on my secondary channel focused on relationship advice. My primary channel is the Wounded Womb, Mind of Lilith. Now today I'm going to be discussing an Instagram post that Martell made about Melody not allowing him to see his children for 56 days, I believe. And shout out to the What's Happening YouTube channel for posting this story, because I damn sure was not going to go onto Martell's page, Instagram page, looking for anything. So shout out to her for posting this information, because I would have missed it. And, I think this is important to address because Martell is trying to sway public opinion against Melody. So in his post, he basically said that Melody should be ashamed of herself for not allowing him to see his kids, and, for posting Instagram videos of the kids laughing and smiling as if they were happy when they were miserable because he wasn't around them. He also stated that, he doesn't want to do the show anymore. He stated that he's not perfect, but he loves his kids anyway. He had a Bible quote about not judging anybody and so on. He mentioned that he's not perfect, but he loves his children, yada, yeezy, yada, yada. But Martell did not provide any context for why Melody would not allow him to see his children after she allowed him to see his children while his mistress was pregnant with his 5th child while they were still married. She let him see his children while his mistress was disrespecting her and while he was still disrespecting her in the public. She did not file for child support or alimony against Martell when they got divorced after he got his mistress of 5 years pregnant, 3 months after she had her 4th child by him. Melody let Martell see their children throughout all of the bullshit and the imperfections, right, that he put her through. Because when men say they're not perfect, they don't discuss the extent of their imperfection and how inconvenient and dangerous their imperfection is to the woman that they're trying to abuse, right? So a lot of times in these cases, women like Melody, who are logical, who are understanding and forgiving, right? She's always said that she wanted her children to be a part of their father's lives. She wanted her children to have the father around, right? She wanted Martell to still be close to the kids because, to be honest, it's also convenient for her to have a split custody arrangement because she gets a break, right? She gets to focus on her businesses. She gets to rest. Raising 4 children alone is a very arduous task, and she's doing it as a single mother financially. She has to, pay for her home, her businesses, her staff, etc. And sometimes she may want a break. So what would compel Melody, who has been understanding, accommodating, rational, and forgiving this entire time, and gracious this entire time, to now all of a sudden switch it up and say, you're not going to see your kids for 56 days? Was this after the interview that Ariane had with Tasha K? Because I don't know if that's related to it, but okay, I'm just asking the audience. So anyway, what would make Melody, who has bent over backwards, trying to accommodate Martell in spite of his ardent efforts to abuse her and destroy her life, what would make her switch it up and not allow him to see his kids? Which would be convenient for her, to be honest, as someone who started a business. Why would she change her mind, right? So Martell's whole diatribe did not discuss the context of what's happening in the situation. So what happens is he gets mad at the bloggers, right? At people online talking about him, etc., including Dr. Heavenly. He gets mad at the people who are talking about his business because he put it out there for us to talk about. And it's so egregious, you can't really not talk about it. It's so disrespectful and vile. It's our obligation, our public duty as women to discuss how disrespectful and disgusting Martell's behavior was towards Melody. Period. I don't care what anybody says. It may not be our business, but domestic violence has to be addressed publicly, and we have to let it be known that his behavior is unacceptable and we're not fucking with it, right? So that's what it is. So when you don't give somebody context in a situation, you're trying to manipulate them. You know how you have kids, right? And you're a teacher or you're a parent and your child comes up to you and says, Mommy, Brandon hit me in my arm, right? without explaining why Brandon hit the child in the arm. Maybe the child spit in Brandon's drink, or the child hit Brandon in the leg, right? What did the child do that would warrant that reaction from Brandon? So what did Martell do to Melody to make her switch it up and change her behavior towards them in regards to those children? Because she has done everything, and I keep saying this, in her power to make sure he's in his kid's life. As a matter of fact, the children spent Christmas and Thanksgiving with Martell. The children had a photo shoot with Martell with his 5th child as well, right? So Melody allowed that to happen. All this stuff was happening. Meanwhile, Martell was still tormenting Melody behind the scenes, making their custody arrangements difficult, trying to cast aspersions on her, stalking her, all this other shit that he was doing, but did not put on Instagram, right? He wants to put on Instagram what's happened to him, but he doesn't want to discuss what he's been doing to his ex-wife behind the scenes. Melody has been protecting him from day one. We didn't even know that he did not have his builder's license. We did not know that he got his mistress pregnant 3 times. We didn't know a lot of things that Melody could have told us to fuck with Martell, and she did not, because she did not want to hurt the father of her children. So here's the deal, Martell. If you want people to take your side in a situation, you have to give us more context, right? You have to be reasonable and honest. Why would Melody all of a sudden decide to not allow you to see the children when she has done everything possible during the divorce, after the divorce, after you had your side baby? She's done everything possible to make sure you were in their life, right? No matter what you were doing to her, how you were abusing her and torturing her and recording her phone calls and trying to make her look like a whore, right? She still let you see her children, did not put you on child support, did not file alimony on you, right? Did not sue you for the money that you stole from her. All this stuff that happened, and she was gracious enough to not knock you upside the head with the karma that you deserved, right? She allowed the universe to take care of it. So now you're trying to make the public turn against her by saying she's a bad mom because she's not letting you see the children for 56 days. What did you do, Martell, that changed her behavior towards you? Because most women who saw what you did to Melody will say, there's a reason why. There has to be a really good reason why Melody would not allow the father of her children to take care of their children, especially when doing so would be very convenient for Melody. She just launched a skincare line, right? She has other projects going on that I'm sure not having full custody of her children would make a lot easier to deal with, right? When you got kids, you got to do a babysitter, you got to make food. It's all this other stuff that goes on in managing a household with children. Why would she not let you do this? Why would she not let you see your kids? What did you do, Martell? Why do you never discuss the things that you've done and you put it under the umbrella of I'm not perfect? So what does your imperfection look like to Melody? Does it look like you call her names, or you don't answer the phone, or are you trying to threaten her life? Like, what does your imperfection look like to her? Does she feel safe with you being imperfect? Because there are different variations of imperfection, right? There's like a gradient of imperfection. Like for Marcel, he didn't know that his child was allergic to peanut butter. That's an imperfection. There are some men who are fathers who are imperfect in that they forget the time to pick up their kids from school sometimes. That's imperfect. There are some men who are good providers, but they're cheaters. That's imperfection. But there are some men who spend 5 years cheating on their wife, psychologically, emotionally, and mentally abusing them just to get the mistress pregnant 5 years into their affair, right? And then still torturing the ex-wife after he's done wrong to destroy the marriage. There's different levels of imperfection here. Melody has been dealing with your imperfections for 14, 15, 16 years. Why is she refusing to deal with it now? What happened? Give some context on that. Don't talk about what she's done. What have you done to your wife, your ex-wife, to the point where she changed her last name and doesn't want anything to do with you whatsoever? Don't complain to us about something she's done, because we're always going to take her side. Not because it's all woman power and we don't like you and we're biased or whatever. We saw what you put her through. And if we were her, you would have got hurt a whole lot more than she did to you. A lot of us would have got you real hurt bad in divorce court. You wouldn't see nothing, period. Some of us would have filed for full custody and left town, left the whole state after what you put her through. So Melody was gracious enough to give you the opportunity to be a parent to your children, even after you were a horrible husband to her and a horrible human being to her in general. So what did she do now? What did you do to make her change it up like this, right? Do you have enough grace to understand why she would switch things up even after she's been merciful to you this entire time? The entire time of the affair, of the divorce process, and then the divorce, and after the divorce, right? She was gracious enough not to get you hurt financially, emotionally, or physically. She's protected you for the most part. The stuff that's been exposed about you has come from other people and the show itself. She didn't say anything to talk down on you at all. She's protected you to this point, and she's still protecting you because she's still not telling us what you're doing behind the scenes that will cause her to change her last name, that will cause her to feel unsafe, right? So instead of trying to weaponize social media against Melody the way you weaponized your mistress against Melody for 5 years, give us some context for why. And maybe we can provide some support. Maybe we can give you some insight on how to remedy the situation so that Melody will feel comfortable having the kids around you again. Since it's our business now, right? Since you talking shit about her is our business, and since her decisions to not allow you to see the kids is our business, okay, perhaps if you give us more information about why she's done this, we can help you to rectify the situation so you can see your children again. Because we don't want you to not see your kids if you love them, right? But at the same time, you loving your kids and you not being perfect is not an excuse or justification for mistreating your ex-wife who was already endured more than most women would ever tolerate. Okay? So what do you guys think? Why do you guys think that Melody would not allow Martell to see his kids for 56 days if this is true? Now, I'm assuming this is true, right? We're going off of what Martell is saying, right? Assuming that it's true. If it is true, there is probably a damn good reason why Melody would not allow Martell to see his children even after she went out of her way, while his disrespectful mistress that he was sponsoring with her money and hard work was pregnant during their marriage with their third pregnancy. Okay? So why would Melody all of a sudden change, according to you guys? You know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm too biased on Melody's side, but I try to be objective. And I don't appreciate when shitty people try to hide their dirty deeds behind the innocence and the beauty and the unconditional love of their children. Because what Martell is doing is he is using his children's love of him and their unconditional love of him to kind of wash his image, to as sort of like launder the dirty deeds he's done against his ex-wife, saying, well, if I was so bad, then my kids wouldn't love me. Kids don't know no damn better. They don't know anything at that age. They know some stuff, but they don't understand what's going on. And Melody has protected them from the things that Martell has done. So what Martell is trying to do is say, see, my kids love seeing me. They're happy with me, right? I must be a good person. So Melody must be the bad person for not allowing me to see my kids because they love me so much because I'm a good person. So no matter what I do to Melody, their mother, it's okay because my kids still love me, which means that whatever I'm doing to Melody must not be that bad. I'm still a good guy. I'm still a good father. Fuck being a good man or good ex-husband. Fuck all that. As long as my kids still love me and I can use that for social capital to make myself look better, like I'm a good man, right? Then it's all good, right? I can do whatever I want to Melody and then blame her for her reaction to my behavior. How about that? All right, guys, that's it for now. Again, shout out to What's Happening, the YouTube channel. You can look at the link to the video that she posted in the description box. I look forward to reading your comments. What do you think? Why do you think Melody would not let Martell see the kids for 56 days? Do you think he's lying? So, I would love to read your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.